Time to reach for mobile water. Mobile water, unique in every way.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
Citi News.
It's midday. Hello, good afternoon to you, and welcome to the Citi Prime News on 97.3 Citi FM, live from our studio at number 11. Dr. Martin Lupin Adabaka here in Accra. I am Caleb Kuda. Coming up, police commence investigations into death of 13-year-old Celestine Adonting, allegedly beaten to death by her father over food meant for her younger brother.
When you do one, so I no, I call lucky and 2 points for goon bottom. Tebera upon a buy and now call them on us. No, in your media.
Also coming up. Tears flow as Lands Minister visits family of 24-year-old NIMOS officer Private Ejapong, who died in a road crash in line of duty. And later, minority in parliament slams government over claims of attempts to block reintroduction of anti-gay bill.
That what was a priority in the 8th parliament, a priority to the 275 members of parliament, has suddenly been thrown under the carpet.
Also in the news, Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, to deploy 1,600 troops to combat rising terrorism in West Africa.
The plan is to start with a brigade of 1,650 strong personnel and increase it to 5,000 gradually.
We are live across the country on all our partner stations and on the internet at citinewsroom.com. In the Western region, you're listening to us on Premier 100.5 FM, Sky 93.5 Beach, 105.5 FM, all in Takrady. In the Bono region, this is J Life 95.5 FM, Sunyani. In the Ashanti region, hello to you on Orange 107.9 FM, Kumasi. Hello to you on Akbini Radio 96.7 MHz, Kwando Heritage 107.3 FM, Hoho. In the northern region, you're listening to us on Dasuma 99.1 FM in Yendi. This is WED 88.3 FM Zuarungu in the upper east region, and Pure is also in the same region on 100.5 FM in Navrongo in the upper west region. Westlink 88.1 FM Laura northeast. We are live on Eagle 94.1 FM in Wale Wale.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
Thank you for choosing us. Let's settle for details of our stories now. And the Lands and Natural Resources Minister Emmanuel Amakofibua, together with senior military officers, has visited the family of Private Safo Ejapong, the NIMOS officer who died in an accident while heading to Obuasi. The crash occurred Wednesday after an operation at a concession overrun by illegal miners. Meeting the family at Efuaman, the minister assured them that government will provide the necessary support following the tragic loss.
Faith is the reason we have trust in God. The Bible admonishes us to place all happenings in God's hands. That is why I am here this morning. I am here to encourage you. I am here of the firm conviction that God has received him in the heavens above due to his good deeds. I bring you greetings from President John Dramani Mahama. Our brother, Private Ejapong, died whilst in the line of duty to save Mother Ghana. He was fighting so that our forest and water bodies will be preserved. We will make all necessary arrangements to support the family. So please be consoled and be informed that your son is a hero for Ghana.
Minister for Lands and Natural Resources Emmanuel Amakofi Boathe, meanwhile Chief of the Army Staff Major General Lawrence Kokugbetanu reassured the family that the military will accord the deceased private Japan all the necessary courtesies and oversee his burial as military ethics demands.
It is worthy of note that the unfortunate incident happened, like I said earlier, in the line of duty in service to God and country. So whilst we all mourn his untimely demise and express our condolences, I wish to assure the family that the entire Ghana Armed Forces, of course the Ministry of Defense, will accord Vita Japan all the necessary courtesies. Signed a military liaison who will be in constant touch, of course, with the family, even as we are notified of the preparations that the family will require and the date that everything will have to be done to give him a very fitting farewell.
Chief of the Army Staff Major General Lawrence Kokugbetanu there. Moving on to some other stories, and the Chief of Defense Staff Lieutenant General William Ejapong says he is impressed with the conduct of applicants in the ongoing Greater Accra recruitment into the Ghana Armed Forces. Touring 5 recruitment centers with senior officers, he noted that the exercise has been smooth with full cooperation from applicants. Speaking to journalists, Lieutenant General Ejapong said stringent measures have been put in place to ensure the process remains peaceful throughout.
We want to commend the general public for adhering to the instructions that only non-applicants should get to the centers. For that has reduced the crowd level, and so things are going smoothly. I can also tell you that for the unfortunate ones who got injured, they are receiving medical treatment at 37. Some of them go in and out. Those who are still on admission are being taken care of well. But for me, what is important is the lessons that we learned from this particular exercise. This has told us that we need to do things differently moving on. And from the next possible recruitment section, we will come out with measures that makes this thing more seamless than it has been.
Chief of Defense Staff Lieutenant General William Ejapong. ECOWAS has announced plans to deploy 1,600 troops to combat rising terrorism in the West African sub-region. ECOWAS President Dr. Omar Alieu Toure told the UN Security Council in New York that insurgency is increasing and requires urgent action. He added that the force is expected to be expanded to 5,000 troops in the coming weeks as part of a broader strategy to stabilize the region and enhance security.
Terrorist groups have adopted a new economic warfare. They have now been restricting the supply and distribution of vital commodities such as petrol. This restriction disrupts regional trade, slows down economic activities, and inflicts serious hardship on the populations. It is in recognition that no one can fight terrorism alone that underpins counter-terrorism efforts in the region, especially the drive to accelerate the operationalization and the deployment of ECOWAS's standby force. It is in this context that ECOWAS Ministers of Defense and Finance met recently to agree on the activation of the standby force. The plan is to start with a brigade of 1,650 strong personnel and increase it to 5,000 gradually. The ministers also agreed on funding mechanism that will consist essentially of own resources as well as support from partners and the United Nations under Resolution 2719.
ECOWAS President Dr. Omar Alieu Toure there. The Volta Regional Police Command has destroyed 600 sacks of Indian hemp seized in 2022, marking the end of a long-running narcotics case before the whole Circuit Court. The 47,530 kilogram consignment, valued at 4.2 billion Ghana cedis, was burnt at the Klepe dumping site under tight security. This followed a court order by His Honor Felix Dachomo after the exhibits were tendered in evidence. Officials from multiple state agencies supervised the destruction to ensure transparency. The minority in parliament is accusing government of attempting to delay the reintroduction of the Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill. The caucus says 5 weeks after Speaker Bagbin assured that the revised bill was being fine-tuned, it has still not returned to the House. One of the sponsors, Asin South MP Reverend John Ntimfojo, asked for the bill to be reprogrammed on the order paper next week for consideration.
No attempt has been made by this House to have the Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill to deal with the canker of LGBT devastating our norms and culture in this country, threatening our family values. And there seems to be a very conspicuous silence on this. Mr. Speaker, the House must not create the impression that what was a priority in the 8th Parliament, a priority to the 275 members of Parliament, has suddenly been thrown under the carpet and has suddenly been jettisoned by the 9th Parliament. We debated it and we concluded. The controversy was resolved. Speaker declared that the bill has to be featured on the order paper. So the attempt by this government, by blocking this bill and blocking it from being featured, is a big disappointment to the people of this country.
One of the sponsors of the anti-gay bill and member of parliament for Sin South, Reverend John Ntimfojo, there. In response, Majority Leader Mahama Ayariga refuted the assertion of plans by the government to block the reintroduction of the bill and assured of its commitment to have the anti-LGBTQ bill passed.
It is not an attempt by government. It's not an attempt by government. And President John Dramani Mahama has indicated time and again that any moment that the bill is brought before him, he will expeditiously sign it. So my honorable colleague, Honorable Ntimfojo, even though in the 8th Parliament, I really didn't see you actively involved in having this bill passed. I know you were a sponsor of the bill, but as we considered it, I didn't really see much of your involvement. I didn't really see. If you recall, it was my committee that it was referred to. It was my committee. And then I didn't see much of your own personal involvement. And so I am surprised that all of a sudden you think that this is an urgent matter.
Mahama Ayariga is majority leader in parliament. Now to the minority side, because its parliament, its health committee, the minority on parliament's health committee, has criticized government for failing to prioritize healthcare in the 2026 budget. Committee member and Ebuakwa South MP Dr. Kingsley Ajuman says the allocation shows government is more focused on purchasing aircraft than fulfilling key health-related promises made during the 2024 campaign. He says the budget provides little support for a struggling health sector and fails to address pressing national health needs.
The total allocation of the budget to the health sector is just about 16 million. What is the whole country's budget? The ratio, if you express to the health sector, is less than 8%. When the Abuja Declaration endorses or encourages member states to be doing a minimum of 15% of their national budget should get into health sector. And it is very worrying because, you see, the key issue confronting this country now is galamsey. If there's any sector that bears the consequences of galamsey, which sector will it be? You see, you just mentioned health. This budget, obviously, when it comes to health, there's nothing good to say about it. I mean,
Dr. Kingsley Ajuman is member of Parliament's Health Committee and MP for Ebuakwa South. We stay in Parliament because Dr. Kingsley Ajiman has still with him. He has criticized President Mahama for failing to honor key health sector promises. According to him, health workers have been shortchanged in the 2026 budget. Dr. Ajiman noted that the nursing trainee allowance has been cut sharply from 770 million cedis in 2025 to 447 million cedis in the 2026 projections, describing the move as disappointing.
Last year, 2025 budget captured nurses and training allowance. The budget allocation was 770 million. This year's budget, that's 2026 budget, the one under review, it has been reduced to a whopping 474 million, a reduction of nearly 300 million.
Ibuakwa South Member of Parliament and a member of the Health Committee, Dr. Kingsley Ajiman. This is still the City Prime News with Caleb Kuda coming to you live from our studio number 11. Dr. Morton Loop in Adabaka here in Accra. Still ahead, police commence investigations into death of 13-year-old Celestine Adonting, allegedly beaten by her father over food meant for her younger brother.
City Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Luck is everywhere for everyone. Yeah.
The winning season is back, but this time I am collecting the wins like jollof at a wedding. The luckiest season 3 is here. Your chance to flip your luck or maybe your bank accounts too.
2 easy ways to join. Dial *712#. Hit 1 to buy for you or 2 to gift a friend. Feeling lucky? Pick 1 for a random number or hit 2 to choose your own. Pay with mobile money. Done. You're in.
Or go to theluckiestafrica.com, click community tickets, choose your number or let the system do so for you. You can buy a ticket for your boo or your favorite barber. Pay with Momo or card if you're abroad.
1 ticket could turn your 1 Ghana cedi into 500 times more. And the whole community could win 10 times over.
Dial *712# or log on.
Let's get lucky together because luck is everywhere.
Play responsibly, not for persons under 18 years. This promotion is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform.
City Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Thank you for staying with us. Police at Kokrobite have arrested a couple over the deaths of their 13-year-old daughter, allegedly caused by severe physical abuse. Her father, 54-year-old Isaac Adonting, is reported to have beaten her with a cane, shovel, and cutlass after his wife claimed the girl ate leftover food meant for her sibling. Neighbors say the couple failed to seek medical care despite her condition worsening. A relative of Isaac Adonting called for thorough investigation.
Aye, papa ni ho aba na stepmother na company man na say akofa ni nua wodi na chi aduane adi papa nso ba ya na wodi abufu na oburu akwala no omo ni wi ade achi.
The stepmother accused the boy of eating food that belonged to his half-sibling. In anger, his father beat him, locked him up without checking on him and left for work. It was only when he returned that he discovered that the child had passed away. We want justice for Isaac.
You had a relative of the deceased Celestine Adonting there. Our correspondent in the region, Akwesi Ado, joins us with more. Akwesi, what more can you report?
So the family of the deceased are calling for justice because according to them, this is not the first time that such an incident occurred. There's been quite a number of abuse against the victim by the stepmother and then his own father. According to what we are gathering, the victim's mother actually left the marriage because she was constantly abused by her husband. And then just a few days ago, this incident also happened. They are really shocked that the father and then the stepmother could do this to the child because, according to what we are gathering, even after beating the deceased mercilessly, they also abandoned her and then left her in the room without food and water for the whole day. And it was only realized that she passed away when the father returned from work to open the door and then found the deceased lying helplessly. And so what they want the police to do is to expedite investigations into the matter and then also ensure that justice is served. Just so Celestina that would rest in peace.
Okay, Siado, thank you so much for that comprehensive report. An Accra Circuit Court has granted 50,000 Ghana Cedi bail to blogger Samuel Amadoto of dk-gh.net, who is accused of publishing false information about former NCA board chairman Oketichiebu Achedankwa Abebio II. Samuel Amadoto, who has been charged with 2 counts of publishing false news under Act 29 and the Electronic Transactions Act, pleaded not guilty. Police say he was arrested for allegedly posting defamatory stories and videos. The court granted bail after hearing arguments from both sides. The University of Ghana has begun internal disciplinary proceedings against 2 senior lecturers, Professor Ransford Jampo and Dr. George Domfe, after a public confrontation on TV3's Key Points. A widely circulated video from November 15 captured the pair in a heated exchange during the program. In a statement, the university said it expects all staff to uphold professionalism and decorum, adding that the conduct displayed fell short of its standards. Now, the National Service Authority has released the second batch of postings for the 2025-2026 service year. The latest allocation adds about 30,000 personnel, bringing the total posted so far to roughly 93,000. Deputy NSA Director Donko Fuseni tells Citi News that only a few prospective personnel remain unposted due to name anomalies during registration. He says the issues are being corrected to ensure all eligible applicants are placed.
We're still having some of the students with issues of a mismatch of names, that is the names on their Ghana cards not matching with the names on the class list from the school. So thankfully the Gazette Ghana Publishers has introduced an online gazetting procedure just for national service, and that one is actually fast tracking the process now. So as and when they are able to rectify those anomalies, we add them all up, and those are the ones we release in tranches. So as I speak to you now, over 90,000 students have actually been successfully posted, but there are still few who have challenges with their names and dates of birth and the rest. So we are still trying to rectify all those ones. But as it stands now, the second batch has already been released successfully. That one was done yesterday, and I think there were around 3,000 or so names were released yesterday. Once you've been able to register successfully, the refund will come automatically. So that one is just an alert back to their Momo wallets.
He also raised concerns over the rise in national service reposting scams and urged individuals seeking reposting to visit the NSA offices for proper rectification rather than paying money to scammers.
Do let the prospective applicants know that you don't need to go and pay money for reposting to be done for you. If you are posted to an institution and the place is full up, all you need is a letter from the institution indicating back to the national service that the place that you were posted to is full. So they are releasing you back to national service to repost you. And you don't need to pay any money for that reposting to be done. People are going around taking money from people for reposting. That is a scam. So just bring a letter. With that letter, we are gladly going to repost you at no cost to you. So nobody go around taking money for reposting.
Donko Fuseni, Deputy Director, National Service Authority. The majority in Parliament says government appointees involved in illegal mining will be arrested to show President Mahama's commitment to tackling the environmental crisis. Majority Leader Mahama Yariga noted that although officials were implicated in Galamsey under the previous Akufo-Addo administration, no action was taken. Responding to minority calls for weekly updates from the Lands Minister, he stressed that the new government will allow the law to deal with any official found culpable.
If you are flying an aircraft from here to Kumasi and you look out through the window, you will see vast areas of excavations between Accra and Kumasi in the eastern regions and some portions of Ashanti region. But these are not excavations that happened the last 8 months. These are excavations that have happened for the last 12, 15 years. Because we haven't filled those pits, when you are still driving around, you see it. So we must admit that a lot of work has gone in. Unlike in the past where party kingpins, where reports were brought by ministers showing that government officials are aiding and abetting. Today, any government official found to be aiding and abetting will be arrested. Any party official, no matter how high, whether you are at the national level or you are at the regional level, if you are caught, the president will not say anything. He will allow the due process of the law to deal with you. A mere allegation against you is creating a problem. Even a member of this house who is alleged to have obstructed the enforcement of the ban was arrested and arraigned before the courts.
Majority Leader Mahama Yarga there. Now the Minority Chief Whip Frank Anodompre highlighted the increasing destruction of forest reserves and water bodies and the need for a weekly briefing by the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources on the matter.
If we are adopting the report, let's adopt the business statement appropriately. And I'm saying that the minister should not just come and read one-off statement and go back. No. Every week he should be here. My proposal. When the chairman of the business committee said as often, what does that mean? That can be interpreted to mean anything. I am saying that we should adopt a position that every week the lands ministry. It can even be twice in a week. Yes, that's fine. But I want to because the word he uses as often. Yes, but I am saying that it should come at least minimum once every week. And I'm not calling for the minister himself. The deputy minister can come and do that. And then I want us to set that matter clear. And I'm also saying that this matter about number of excavators imported is neither here nor there. If the water bodies are bad and we are finding heavy metals in our foodstuff from the farm, and you tell me you are fighting Galamsey, you have failed.
Frank Anodompre, Minority Chief Whip. A group of former NPP constituency executives in Mfantsiman has declared support for Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia during his visit to the area. 37 of the 47 former executives present pledged to back his 2028 presidential bid. The group, made up of past constituency officers, said it has assessed the party's direction and will mobilize for victory. A former assistant secretary said unity and Bawumia's electoral appeal informed their decision.
You know, former constituency executives.
We will not brag and lie to the former vice president. We stand here as former constituency executive to declare our full support for him. We know he will win the primaries to lead the NPP into the elections of 2028, and ultimately he will win the election and lead the country.
Here, the former executive of the NPP in the Mfantsiman constituency endorsing the candidature of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. The senior rent officer and head of public relations at the Rent Control Department, Emmanuel Hovekbosu, has attributed the rising cost of rent in Ghana to unregulated agent activities. Speaking on Channel 1 TV's Breakfast Daily, Mr. Kbosu said the conduct of some agents and brokers continues to distort the rental market, pushing tenants to pay far more than they should. He explained that the Real Estate Agency Act passed in 2020 and a subsequent stakeholder engagement held in October are intended to sanitize the sector by regulating fees and operations of agents. According to him, a council has already been established to oversee the implementation of the law. Now, the French embassy in Ghana has reiterated its commitment to supporting the growth and global visibility of Ghana's creative and cultural industries, describing the sector as a major engine for economic transformation, youth empowerment, and international cultural exchange. Speaking on the sidelines of the launch of the second edition of Creation Africa Ghana, an initiative by the French government to empower entrepreneurs in the cultural and creative industries, cultural attaché at the French embassy, Jeremy Desjardins, highlighted the immense economic and social potential of Ghana's creative ecosystem. And that's how we end the Citi Prime News, which came to you live from our studio number 11. Dr. Martin Lupin Adabaka here in Accra. My name is Caleb Kuda. Many thanks for doing the listening. There's more news when you log on to citinewsroom.com. Good afternoon.
Citi News, we speak first. Reach our hotline on 0302 224959 and get interactive on Facebook, Citi 97.3 FM, and on Twitter at Citi 973.